Our planet is warming. This is not a distant threat. It is a present reality. Global warming refers to the ongoing increase in Earth's average temperature. This increase is primarily driven by human activities, particularly the burning of fossil fuels. The implications of global warming are vast and far-reaching. We are already witnessing its effects in the form of more frequent and intense heat waves, rising sea levels and disruptive changes in weather patterns. Scientists warn that if we do not take immediate action to curb greenhouse gas emissions, the consequences will be catastrophic. We face a future of more severe droughts, floods and storms, displacing communities and threatening food security. The time to act is now. We must transition to a low-carbon economy and embrace sustainable practices to protect our planet for future generations.
The primary driver of global warming is the burning of fossil fuels, coal, oil, and natural gas. These fuels have powered our industries and economies for centuries, but at a great cost to our planet. When burned, fossil fuels release massive amounts of greenhouse gases, primarily carbon dioxide, into the atmosphere. These gases act like a blanket around the Earth, trapping heat from the sun and causing the planet to warm. The concentration of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere has skyrocketed since the Industrial Revolution, reaching levels not seen in millions of years. This dramatic increase is directly linked to human activities, particularly the burning of fossil fuels. We are now witnessing the consequences of our actions. The warming planet is causing glaciers to melt at alarming rates, sea levels to rise, and weather patterns to become more erratic and extreme.
The greenhouse effect is a natural process that regulates Earth's temperature, making life as we know it possible. However, human activities are intensifying this effect, leading to global warming. Certain gases in the atmosphere, known as greenhouse gases, trap heat from the sun. These gases include carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxide. Imagine the atmosphere as a greenhouse. The sun's rays enter the greenhouse, warming the air inside. The glass walls of the greenhouse trap some of the heat, preventing it from escaping back into space. Human activities, particularly the burning of fossil fuels, release excessive amounts of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. This thickens the glass of our atmospheric greenhouse, trapping more heat and causing the planet to warm at an unnatural rate.
Section 4. Nature in revolt, extreme weather and a changing climate. As global temperatures rise, we are witnessing a surge in extreme weather events around the world. From devastating hurricanes and floods to prolonged droughts and heat waves, the impact of climate change is becoming increasingly evident. The warming atmosphere holds more moisture, leading to more intense rainfall and flooding events. Coastal communities are particularly vulnerable to these events, facing the double threat of rising sea levels and more powerful storms. Heat waves are becoming more frequent and severe, posing significant risks to human health, particularly for the elderly and those with underlying health conditions. Droughts are also becoming more common, threatening crops, water supplies and livelihoods. These extreme weather events are not isolated incidents. They are a clear indication of a changing climate. The human and economic costs of these events are staggering, affecting millions of people worldwide.
Section 5. Melting ice, rising seas, the Arctic's urgent alarm. The Arctic is warming at twice the rate of the rest of the planet, serving as a stark warning sign of the accelerating pace of climate change. The region's ice caps and glaciers are melting at an alarming rate, contributing to rising sea levels and disrupting delicate ecosystems. As glaciers and ice sheets melt, the water flows into the oceans, causing sea levels to rise globally. This poses a significant threat to coastal communities, putting millions of people at risk of displacement and flooding. The melting of Arctic ice also disrupts the habitat of iconic species such as polar bears, walruses, and seals, threatening their survival. The loss of sea ice further amplifies warming by reducing the Earth's ability to reflect sunlight back into space. The rapid changes in the Arctic are a clear indication that climate change is not a distant threat. It is happening now. The fate of the Arctic is intertwined with our own, and its fate hangs precariously in the balance.
Section 6. On the brink, ecosystems and species under threat. Global warming is not just a threat to human societies, it poses a grave danger to the intricate web of life on Earth. Ecosystems and species around the world are facing unprecedented challenges as temperatures rise and weather patterns become more erratic. Coral reefs, often referred to as the rainforests of the sea, are highly sensitive to changes in water temperature. As oceans warm, coral reefs are experiencing widespread bleaching, leading to their death and the loss of vital marine habitats. Rising temperatures are also disrupting the delicate balance of terrestrial ecosystems. Forests are experiencing more frequent and intense wildfires, while species are forced to migrate to higher altitudes or cooler regions in search of suitable habitats. Many species are struggling to adapt to the rapid pace of climate change, putting them at risk of extinction. The loss of biodiversity weakens ecosystems, making them more vulnerable to collapse and further exacerbating the impacts of climate change.
Section 7. A collective responsibility, our choice, our future. The challenge of global warming is daunting, but it is not insurmountable. We have the knowledge, the technology, and the collective power to avert the worst impacts of climate change and build a more sustainable future. The 2015 Paris Agreement, a landmark international accord, provides a roadmap for global action on climate change. The agreement aims to limit global warming to well below 2 degrees Celsius, preferably to 1.5 degrees Celsius, compared to pre-industrial levels. Achieving this goal will require a fundamental shift in our energy systems, our economies, and our lifestyles. We must transition away from fossil fuels and embrace renewable energy sources such as solar, wind, and geothermal. We must also adopt sustainable practices in all aspects of our lives, from transportation to agriculture to consumption patterns. Reducing our carbon footprint is not just a collective responsibility, it is an individual imperative. The choices we make today will determine the future of our planet. We have the power to create a world where both people and nature can thrive, but it will require a collective effort, driven by a shared sense of urgency and a commitment to a sustainable future.